Welcome back to the Disc Golf Show, guys. My name is Nick, and this is episode 5 of the 2026 season. As always, this show is brought to you in part by our local pro shop, Final Nine Sports. If you're in Northern California, Sacramento area, they have 2 locations, one in Rocklin and one in Orangevale. Go check them out. And as always, support your local pro shop. However, if you're unable to find what you're looking for at your local pro shop, we do have a remedy for that. And it is another sponsor of the show, Disc Golf Deals USA. If you go to discgolfdealsusa.com/discgolfshow, you can get 10% off of the entire order. So this is baskets, bags, all the stuff. There are a few exclusions that do apply, but for the most part, everything on that site, 10% off. Go save that money. As always, you do know that we love to start off on good news. So a quick shout out to Valarie and Mason Ford. They're celebrating their 3-year anniversary, so hope it continues to be good. More congrats go to Kristin Latt. She was announced as going to be awarded an Order of Merit by the country of Estonia. So I'm guessing this is probably one of the first ever awards by a country to a disc golfer. So again, probably a good person to give it to. Shout out to Nikole Coleman for being the Becky Zallek Women's Choice TD of the Year through the PDGA. If you are a fan of Eagle McMahon, he recently posted his tour schedule. So if you want to check out where he's going to be this year, go check out his socials. Another with him too, it seems like he's not going to be at the European Open. He does show these at the European Disc Golf Festival, but not specifically the European Open. And it looks like there's a few top pros that are not going to be there. And that may be related to, the leveling off or plateau of disc golf in competitors and people that play. So I don't know. We'll see, though. I don't think that those are completely final for a lot of these players. They may jump in. You never know. But yeah, go check it out. We do still have some sponsorship news, so sponsorship updates. We have, if you don't know who Josh Miller is, he's Jay Millie. He's a social media guy, and he's playing, and he was recently signed up with Discmania for a year going in 2026 here. So good luck to him on that. RPM, if you don't know them, they're a New Zealand manufacturer, disc manufacturer, and they recently signed Connor O'Reilly as well as Corey Ellis. And with Corey Ellis, it sounds like he's still got a partial open bag that they're allowing him to do. So we'll see how that goes for them. AGL Discs, which is kind of a local manufacturer here in Northern California, above ground level, if you don't know. AGL Discs recently signed Emily Weatherman, great up-and-comer, and Sophia Donecki. I don't know. But yeah, so keep an eye out on them as well. Meridian Discs signs GT Hancock and Zach Nash. Latitude 64 recently teased and announced that they have signed Anniken Stin. So she was with Castoplast, and she's moved over to Latitude 64. Now, will she be... To me, it seems like this might be taking Kristin Latt's place for competitive play, but we do know her skill level's up there, and I hope to see big things coming from Anniken, and we will see. We will see in 2026 how this change affects her, but do know that if you are a Castoplast fan as well as Anniken Stin fan, Castoplast announced that they will not be producing the K1 Hard Rico X in 2026. So they did say that there's still some out there at the pro shop, so keep your eyes peeled if you do like that disc, because those will not be produced in 2026. Now we get to Discraft. Now you will have heard several of these, but I'm going to run through these as quick as I can because they announced the totality of their tour team. That's a lot of T's there, and it is a ton. So let's cruise through here. We got Addison Woodward. I want to give these people recognition because they put in hard work to get signed. And in today's market, it's a little bit tougher leading into 2026. So I want to give them some recognition. So here we go. bear with me. Addison Woodward, Chandler Fry, Lexi Marks, Andrew Fish, Andrew Presnell, Ben Calloway, which Ben Calloway had recently stated he was stepping away from pro play, but we will see. Maybe he'll be here and there. Brad Schick, Brody Smith. Brody Smith, is this his last year? Is he sticking with Discraft for this year and then see what happens in 2027? That will be interesting moving forward. Dan Hastings, Dan Schlitter, George Ben, Colton Montgomery, Cynthia Ricciardi, Daniel Polk, Eden Fornoff, Kenneth Tyberski, Micah Groth, Kyle Crabtree, Nick Gill, Marty Peters, Pete Ulibarri, Matt Blakely, Ryan Mon, Evan Scott, Kelly Foster, Evan Smith, Hayden Carroll, Thomas Earhart, Alexis Mondahano, Tim Barham, Brandy Cargill, Zach Arlinghouse, Jordan Linz, Alexis Kerman, Lindsay Mars, Kevin Kiefer III, Daniel Davidson, Nestor Tukinen, Santiha Klesberga, Morgan Linz, Taylor Chochik, Nid Ovathanasan, KJ Nybo, Paige Shu, Sylvan Gouge, Sarah Demar, and Sheila Kirkham. So that is a big team. But again, that's not like the top team, obviously, but that is a good list of players on the tour team for Discraft. Moving on, we do have Owen Scoggins, who recently joined Squatch Disc Golf. So my only question there, I'm guessing she's staying with Zuka for the cart and will be carrying a different style cart with the Squatch bag on it, but we will see. I don't know. A lot of times she has her husband as a caddy and maybe the cart isn't needed, but I haven't seen anything saying she isn't on Team Zuka anymore. So we will see. Erica Stinchcomb and Thought Space Athletics have parted ways. And so she is looking for sponsors. So hopefully she finds somebody that picks her up. We have Levi Stout put out a teaser, and funny enough, it was a bunch of numbers, and I did the work for you guys, and it was in hex code. And what it said was, nice try, I have 3 sponsor announcements, and I won't have you ruin them. So a big shout out to Levi Stout. That was pretty cool. And last but not least, I did want to make note that the Emporia State University Disc Golf has signed Tyler Ahrens and Jaden Rye. This is something that I like to see. I like to see these announcements from colleges that are stating, hey, we're investing in disc golfers because there is a future there and we hope to be a part of it. So I like to see that. So shout out to them. There was announcements from the DGPT on the point structure, seeing as how they have that new big sponsor of Powerball. There are the 27 tour card specifications, or how you can get your 2027 tour card as well. But they did announce the point structure for this year, and how that will be is the DGPT events will be 150, the DGPT plus events will be worth 200, the playoffs will be 250, and the PDGA majors will be 300. So that's how those points will go for the tour point structure this year. There was a quick and little announcement or mention of RedBull being involved in disc golf, however small it may be, but they have been listed as a sponsor for the European Disc Golf Festival 2026, so that'll be cool. Hopefully that builds into something more and maybe transfers over the tour as a whole rather than just an event. We do have the USWDGC for 2026. The registration schedule has been announced. If you didn't see, they made a post of their logo, and I think they got enough backlash that I think they updated it. If you check out their old one, let me know what you think, or if you did see it, let me know. Updated logo definitely looks a lot better. Some specs for this event are, it will be held July 16th to 19th in Salt Lake City, Utah. Tier 1 registrations will start on March 16th at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Tier 2 on March 23rd. And if you do want to play an event like this, because it's a big event, you will need to be a current member and a certified rules official with an expiration date that is after July 19th. So definitely, if you're interested in playing in the USWDGC, that's going to be held in Salt Lake City. You can check the link below. We have a lot of these links are going to be down below and to see what you need to do. The PDGA also announced their 50th anniversary celebration, so they are doing something. I would have thought that leading up to this, it would have been a lot more media on it, but at least there's something. I do like to see the acknowledgement of this. 50 years is a big milestone, and they just recently posted a link, or will have a link down below, for a post that they shared about sharing your story. So if you want to, how you got involved or whatever it may be, how you are currently involved, how it's affected your life, go ahead and hit that link or search on PDGA. You can see it there. And last on the news front is a big one. It's a big one. Throw for More is back. So Throw for More last year was an event where money was raised by the Paul Macbeth Foundation and UDisc. And now, not only is it back, but it's been announced by Paul on a recent post that it will be an annual event. This year it will be held on June 20th, 2026. The goals that they have, because everybody smashed the goals last year. Like, they kept having to bump the funds that they're trying to hit, thanks to everybody who played. But the goals that they're reaching for are 2,000 participants. I think last year was around 1,300 plus. They're looking at 200,000 rounds to reach, and they're wanting to reach at least $50,000 raised. And to do so, another additional way is you can have people sponsor you, or they can do a flat fee or whatever it is, but you can create an account on Throw for More. So the link will be down below, Throw for More. And it's free to sign up. And if you log these on UDisc, your rounds, on June 20th, each round will trigger UDisc for donating 10 cents per round. So that adds up quick, especially depending on how many people end up playing those rounds and how many rounds they play that day, because every round counts. So if you want to help out with that event, again, June 20th, Throw for More. We will give you more news as the closer we get to it. And before we move on to the question of the episode, do me a quick favor. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It helps a lot. I really do appreciate it. Like, share, notifications if you want. But yeah, thank you for watching, and let's get to the question. Question of the episode is very simple, but I do like to see the responses from all of you that watch. This is kind of an acknowledgement to the person who got you into disc golf. So who got you into disc golf, and are they still playing? Maybe you're playing and they've stopped for a little bit. Maybe they're taking a hiatus. And when did you start playing? How long ago? How long have you been playing? Tag them down below in the comments. And I'd like to see, I like seeing that stuff. Was it your friend? Was it a family member? Was it you yourself? Maybe you just decided, hey, you know what? That looks fun. I'm going to go grab a disc. Let me know down below. All right, guys, that moves us to the gear and equipment section. This segment is brought to you by Disc Golf Deals USA. As always, shout out to them. If you go to discgolfdealsusa.com/discgolfshow, you can get 10% off of your entire order. Some exclusions do apply. We do have some discs that were approved from PDGA, and funny enough, it wasn't just yesterday. So on the 29th, they snuck in from Guru 3 discs. The Midrange, which is a 4302, called the Frost. The Putter, which is a 2401, called the Fnugg, Fnugg. And the Fairway Driver, an 85-21, called the Scar, S-K-A-R-E. Again, we'll have those links down below. They are on PDGA's website. And then as for the other few that were approved yesterday on February 2nd, Discmania had 3 discs. Now this one's a little bit funny to me because the names are literally Discmania Putter, Discmania Midrange, and Discmania Fairway Driver. No other names, just a generic Discmania putter, midrange, fairway driver. The putter is a 3.3 -1.0, the midrange is a 5.5 -1.0, and the fairway driver is a 9.6 -2.2. So I'm wondering if this may be more for like mass production, and maybe these are the ones that will pop up in stores, retail stores and whatnot. We will see, but it is curious because they already have a ton of putters, they have a ton of mid-ranges, they have a ton of fairway drivers. But what are these ones? So we will see how these come into market. As for other announcements for recent or upcoming releases, the Innova Team Tour Series discs have been announced. So those will be or are available, I believe, for your favorite players that are on the Innova team that have signature discs. So also Latitude 64, starting February 5th, they announced that US orders will be shipped from the US warehouse. And so you will no longer, for US orders, have overseas fees. There's a few other additions here starting February 5th. They are announcing the Clear Mighty Limited Edition, and there's only going to be 1,000 of these made. So if you are a Latitude 64 fan and you want get your hands on some of these the new plastics that they're releasing, know that there's only 1,000 of that first limited edition. Free shipping on orders over $15 also, and then 15% off regular priced items for PDGA members throughout February. So for all of February, you can get 15% off as long as you're a current PDGA member. And then also you will have easier access to special drops and exclusive runs for Latitude 64. DGA has announced that they've added some molds to their Atmos lineup, and those would be the Bonsai, the Surf, Sail, and Avalanche. And Thought Space Athletics actually had a recent teaser, but actually announced as well today. They are going to be releasing limited edition Thought Space Athletic skateboard decks. And the teaser or the picture that they actually ended up showing of them, they look cool. So if you're a fan of TSA, they are coming soon. So keep your eyes peeled for those. I don't know the quantity that will be provided, but they look cool. So if you like TSA artwork and all that, you'll like these skateboard decks. Last but not least, for products is shoes. They're the most important part of your disc golf game because you use them on every throw. And we have a couple brands that we do like to shout out, one being Idio Sports. They have the Evo and the Brawler. Those are the respective low top and high top. And that is idiosports.com. You can go check those out. Lightweight, more of a zero style shoe, and waterproof. All pluses. Last, the other shoe is Vessi. Vessi's been a supporter of disc golf over the past few years, and they've sponsored players as well. And so we like to give a shout out to them. They have more of a normal style, kind of a rake to the shoe, to the sole, higher in the rear, higher in the heel than the toe. And again, knitted, waterproof, not as lightweight, I would say, as Idios, but still comfortable. So go check those out, see which one you lean towards, let us know. Moving on to the upcoming events, guys, we do have a few here and a couple local that I wanted to shout out here in our area. So first we'll start off with, obviously, February 27th, end of this month, to March 1st, the 2026 Supreme Flight Open is going to be held. That's the first event for the DGPT, Brooksville, Florida. After that, between that and the second event, there's actually Disc South is going to be held down in Texas, March 7th to 8th. So if you are wanting to attend that expo, keep your eyes peeled. We will give you more information as we get closer. And then March 13th to 15th is the one that I'm really waiting for the DGPT, and that is the Big Easy Open, held in Jefferson Parish, Louisiana. It's a brand new venue, and I'm curious as to how that will play out. I have a couple events here locally in Northern California, Sacramento area that I wanted to give nod to or let those of you that are in our area, or maybe in our area, mid to late March. The first being March 19th. It is a Thursday. It is going to be the Disc Golf Night at Golden One Center. And Disc Golf Night, thanks and shout out to the Kings, because they have reached out to our local community and asked that they want to get some disc golfers involved. And this is the first year, so shout out to Riley for reaching out. And yeah, they're going to be playing the 76ers. And so this, again, this being the first kind of iteration or attempt at seeing if something can grow with the basketball, pro basketball, and the local disc golf community. They're giving, I think there's 150 tickets that they're trying to sell. So if you are going to be in the area, again, March 19th, if you're a 76ers fan or a Kings fan, pick up a ticket, you get a free hat, and then after the game, you'll be able to go down on the court and shoot a free throw. Or, I don't know, will that be with a ball or a disc? I don't know. But yeah, so if this goes well, then this is something that can grow. So I do like to do what I can, especially in our community here, and try to help with these alternate style events that disc golfers can be involved in. So big shout out. Again, March 19th, Kings versus the 76ers, Disc Golf Night at Golden One Center. Last event, but definitely not least, is a fundraiser tournament. It is called the Little Oaks Fundraiser Tournament, and it will be held on March 29th. And it will be held actually at where my kids go to school, Sacramento Adventist Academy. They have a private course there. It is in Carmichael, California. During the year, if you did want to check it out, you would need to contact Chris Duckett, who is a teacher there, and he is able to open it up on Sundays. But outside of that, you got to wait till the summer, and hopefully maybe this next summer we'll be doing another doubles league. But this event, again, like I said, is a fundraiser tournament. The money goes towards a company that they work with locally called Maranatha, and it's a business or a fundraising business that helps build schools, dental buildings, and such in other countries, in countries that need it. And then they obviously, this is a Seventh-day Adventist school, so they also go out and share the word. But like I said, if you are in, it is a doubles tournament, and there's going to be different divisions, and there's also going to be a adult child division. So one adult, one child. So if you're interested, again, if you're in Northern California, Sacramento area, March 29th, check out the Little Oaks Fundraiser Tournament. It is on Disc Golf Scene also, if you want to look it up. All right, guys, that moves us to the mailbag. And there's a couple items that I did want to, this is where we share items as well as videos, content that you guys can check out. First thing being Flightgeist Disc Golf Company, Flightgeist DGC. They create clothing. So one of those things is that I've been saying for quite a while is that the daily, everyday clothing market is very open for disc golf apparel. And I think there needs to be more created. I have ideas myself, but time and money, that kind of holds back sometimes. But go check them out. Again, it's Flightgeist, so FLIGHTGEISTDGC.com. Link will be down below for that. Go check them out. They do a new style, new shirt prints here and there when they can. And I like to shout out those smaller businesses, so go check them out. As for another product, you've probably heard of this. I'm sure you have. Tech Disc. Now, the only reason why I bring this up is because I just saw a video from Albert Tom. And why this wanted me to put this in the show notes here is just for the fact that he threw a drive, and on Tech Disc it showed at 129 kilometers per hour, which is 80 miles per hour. That is a massive amount of speed in a drive. There are very few people that can do that. I'm thinking probably AB, Simon, definitely back in his younger days. Now, mid-70s probably, I'm guessing. And maybe Eagle, Gannon. Only the top tier players are throwing that fast. Again, very, very rarely would they ever throw that during competition, because you're never throwing 100% during competition. But it is neat to see those milestones for players that are throwing those super, super fast. I mean, that could be an exhibition purpose, you know, distance contests and stuff. So shout out to Tech Disc, because all those stats are fun to look at. As for videos, guys, there's a couple. First one being Eagle McMahon recently released his second music video. I guess I can say it. The Engine Roars Streamline Engine music video. So go check it out. What is it? What is that? The kids call it cringe, right? I don't know. Hey, it's fun. He's having a good time. More power to him. Link for that video will be down below if you haven't seen it. He did another one called, I think last year, it was called the Wind Dragon or something like that, I think, when he moved over to MVP. But yeah, he made another one, man. So go check it out. He's having fun. Second video I did want to shout out is Catch. Big fan of this, where Brian Earhart just plays catch with an ultimate frisbee with a pro, and they just talk and discuss topics, and you know, you learn about the pro that he's speaking with. And this time it was Holland Handley. Now, of my own accord, not the biggest Holland Handley fan. However, this is one of those instances where, after learning more, the personality and the character that the player has, I'm changing my tune. I'm a fan. So shout out. This is exactly why these things need to be out there. This is exactly why these projects need to be created and followed through with, because without knowing their personal characteristics and their humor and their them being humble, you know, there are those levels of during play you have to have. This is again why a lot of people, again, why I initially was not so fond of Gannon Buhr, because you have to have at that level some sort of cockiness to yourself and self-grandizing, or not grandizing. Like, you need to believe in yourself so strong that there's no way that you can lose. And sometimes that comes off a little bit arrogant, but at that level, when you're at the top of the top, that's going to be shown during your play. And so I think, though she, during play, sometimes, from what I see, she comes across a little sure of herself. It's definitely not that. And I was happy to see her and Brian converse and get to learn a little bit more about Holland and her personality. So shout out to Catch again, big fan. If you haven't watched it, it's on YouTube now. I'll leave the link down below again. And guys, that brings us to the end of the show. This ended up being a longer than normal one. And we do like to share ways you can save money. First one being, if you're looking for a bag, check out Upper Park Disc Golf. If you use code Disc Golf Show, you can save some money there. And again, big shout out to Disc Golf Deals USA. If you go to discgolfdealsusa.com/discgolfshow, you can save 10% off of your entire purchase. Some exclusions do apply. Usually those are brand new mold releases, like MVP and such. But, you know, use that link. Get that 10% off. You're looking for a new bag, a new basket, practice basket for your backyard, a cart, any of that stuff, accessories. Save some money, guys. And last but not least, big shout out to our local pro shop, Final Nine Sports. If you are in the Northern California, Sacramento area, you can find them at their two locations, one in Rocklin, one in Orangevale. Big shout out to them for their support. And yeah, support local, guys. Otherwise, that's it. thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button, like, share with your friends, hit that notifications, whatever you want to do, all the things, all the goods. And yeah, guys, I will see you next week.